Hello everyone, welcome to my Pokemon Heartgold Soulsilver Pokémart editing ROM hacking tutorial. So this tutorial is going to show you how to do things like this, selling whatever you want for however much you want. Before we start though, just know that you can't expand the existing inventory. You're going to have to overwrite old items. But this is not a big deal because every Pokémart sells these useless mail items, and it's very easy and convenient to just overwrite these. So let's get started with what you'll need to pull this off. Hey, so before we start, I just wanted to say make a copy of your ROM before you begin doing this, because the programs we use do not let you save them to a different file. They're going to automatically overwrite the old one. And whenever you're doing something like this, it's just good practice to make backups and make copies just in case something goes wrong. Also, shout out to Drayano for making a guide to this sort of thing, because I could not have made this without him. Alright, that's enough. You're going to need some programs. You're going to need Crystal Tile 2. I'll have links to all of these in the description. And when you're downloading Crystal Tile 2, just know that you have to enter a password. It's just this right here. You copy and paste it. There it is. And you're going to need a hex editor. I use HXD. You can download this right here in whatever language you want. And you're going to need 7-zip to extract Crystal Tile because it's a .7z file. So just download one of these top two if you're on Windows. Now, oh, you're also going to need a ROM of Heartgold or Soulsilver. I can't tell you where to get that, I don't think, but you know how to use the internet. I'd recommend checking Reddit. There's probably a link to one there. So the first thing you want to do once you have all of these is open up Crystal Tile 2 and load up your ROM. Now go to Tools, NDS File System, and there are two files you need out of here. You need arm9.bin, hit extract. If by some chance you get an out of memory error, hit export instead. And now you're going to scroll down to A017 and export that. So now we're going to open HXD and open arm9.bin. And there's a lot of information here. It's all in hexadecimal, which is just a different way to write numbers. That's all. You don't really need to know the math behind it. And now you also need to know that each item in this game has an ID number, and you can find a list of every ID Generation 4 on Bulbapedia. And the way they're stored in here is the 2 digits here are swapped with the 2 digits here. So if I wanted to put an elixir into a Pokémart, I get this hexadecimal ID and I switch 0028 becomes 2800. And that's just the way these numbers are stored. So keep that in mind. But now we need to find where in this file all these numbers are stored, because it's a big file. So the first thing you want to do is find a Pokémart with the mail that you want to edit. I can also show you how to edit the main mart and how it changes depending on how many badges you have. But first, let's talk about overriding these mail items. So let's actually go to Violet City, just because that's where my save is. This will work for every Pokémart that sells all the mail and the weird Pokeballs. Scroll down to the Pokémart, and in Violet City, he sells Tunnel Mail, Heal Ball, and Net Ball. So what you're going to do is go to the list of items by index number on Bulbapedia and look for Tunnel Mail. It is 008D. Now if we swap that it is 8D00. And just write this down on a notepad or on a piece of paper. And the next item is the heal ball, which is 000E. Switch them to get 0E00. And the last item is net ball, 0600. And follow this with FFFF. Now go back to your hex editor and search, find 8D00, 0E00, 0600, FFFF. That shouldn't happen. Oh, you know what? I know what I did wrong. I'm on the text string tab. You need to be on the hex values tab. And it should take you right to this line. Perfect. So this is where the Violet City Pokémart second cashier information is stored. And these are all the items IDs of the things they sell. And you see why we can't add a new item, because once it gets to this FF, it starts loading up the data for a different Pokémart. So this guy is coded to sell 3 items. Great, no problem. We can replace this tunnel mail, 8D. And this will work. You can go to any Pokémart, say Ekritique City, and if you look at the IDs of everything he sells, make sure to switch the digits and put FF at the end, you should be able to find it. So now that we're here, let's see what item we want in there instead. It could be anything. I'll make it, let's just make it a sunstone for now, because they're a pain to get. So a sunstone is 0050. And to put it into the code, we need to switch them, so it's 5000. So let's replace this 8D with 5000. Great. And now we can save. But we don't know how much they're going to sell it for. It's not stored here. It's stored in that A017 file. So we can open that, and this is just a huge jumble. But this file stores the data for every item in the game, and that includes its price, its effect as a held item, and more stuff than I even know. So I know this will work on English American versions of the game. I can't confirm that it will work for others, but just to double check that we are on the same page, I'm going to go to search, go to, and I'm going to type in 1CA4. And you should hopefully see 7805. If that's the case, perfect, we'll go from here. If not, just hold on a second. So this is where the item data for a pearl is. And we can double check that by going to our calculator. And the Windows calculator has a programmer mode that lets you switch from hexadecimal to decimal very easily. So what number is 7805? Well, first we have to switch it. So it becomes 0578. In decimal, this is 1400. So this is an item that will sell for 1400. And there's only one item in the game that does that, and that is the pearl. And it sells for, well, you buy it for 1400 because it sells for 700. The sell price is automatically just half of the buy price. And this is the only item in the game that sells for 700. So it's the only item in the game that you would buy for 1400. So if your pearl is at 1CA4, then perfect. You can use this formula that I'm going to put on screen to figure out the offset on the left here for any item in the game. So let's see, what were we going to add? A sunstone. So following the formula, we take its ID in hexadecimal, 50, multiply by 24, and add 1044. And 1B84 is the line we need to go to. Search, go to 1B84. And we have 0834. Now I know that pretty much every evolution item in the game sells for 2100 just through testing, and that should give us 0834. Perfect. So I'm pretty sure we're in the right place. And this should be followed by another one because Sunstone's followed by Moonstone. Perfect. And we can change this to whatever we want. Let's say we want it to sell for 100 because we are cheapskates. So in hex, that's 64. Switch the bytes and or whatever, and that's 6400. And we can save. And now that's all the change we need to do. So now we should be able to close this, open Crystal Tile, and open our ROM again, and go to Tools, NDS File System, and right-click on this, import the ARM9 that we edited. Wait, what? I'm not sure what that does. Oh, that's not good. Give me a second. Okay, so I don't think that was any significant warning because I tried to do it again just immediately after and it worked. So we've done that. Now go back to A017 and import that. Close. There's nothing to save. I didn't say this. I'll try to put some text on screen when I do it, but you should make a copy of your ROM in case things don't go well. So yes, we can close without saving because it did save. And now we can double check this in our emulator. Pokemon Heartgold. And I'm just going to import a save so we don't have to play through the first gym. And Sunstone for $100. Wonderful. But let's say we wanted to edit the main Pokémart. Well, to do that, we go back to HXD. Oops, that's not what I wanted. And yes, we need to stay in our arm9.bin, open that, and we're going to go to, we're going to search find hex values 04, 00, 01, 00, 03, 00, 03, 00. Search direction all. And what this is, we have the ID for Pokeballs right here, 0400. And we have the level of the main mart that is required for them to sell the Pokeballs. So it's level 1, that means no badges required. Now following it is 0300, that's the ID for Great Balls. And the level is 0300. Level 3 requires 3 badges. And followed by this is an Ultra Ball, 0200, requires level 4, which is 5 badges. The levels are weird. I'll put on screen what they are, maybe in the description. But it's pretty much you go no badges, then all the odd badge numbers. Level 2 is 1 badge, level 3 is 3 badges, level 4 is 5 badges, level 5 is 7 badges, and level 6 is 8 badges. So we have some exceptions on the end, but for the most part it's every odd badge. You can't make them available after an even number badge other than the 8th, but it's it shouldn't be a big deal. So we're going to pick one of the items to replace here. Now, if you go to Pokémart on Bulbapedia and you jump to the Generation 4 section and scroll down a bit, you'll see what they sell and how many badges you need to sell it. So we're going to have to pick one of these items to replace. I usually pick the Repel, just because they're totally obsolete by the time you get Super Repels. If you wanted to, you could even make Super Repels available earlier, so nothing has happened. If you're going to do a Nuzlocke, maybe you want to replace the Revive. You could replace the Ice Heal too. I don't use those very often, but it's up to you. But for me, let's replace the Repel. So first, let's figure out what the Repel's ID is. Normal Repel 4F00. Let's get rid of all that. 4F00. So now let's look for 4F after this point. And here it is. And it's level 2. Now, according to our table, level 2 means 1 badge. Let's just double check that that's the case. Yes, Repel requires 1 badge. So now let's change Repel to, heck, I don't know. Let's pick something weird. Let's say Focus Sash. So Focus Sash in Hex is 0113. We switch the digits to get 1301. And we've got to decide what level to make it. So let's say it's, let's see, it's a pretty good item. So let's set it to level 6. Requires all 8 badges to purchase. So let's say 0600. Alright, so we're going to change 4F to 1301, and we're going to change the level to 0600. And let's check the price as well. So Focus Sash 113. Alright, 113 times 24 plus, and now since it's an ID in Hex that is larger than 87, we add a different amount, D2C, and we get 33D8. So let's search, go to 33D8. And there it is. C8 is its current price. Let's see what that is. 200. Let's change it to 1000. So that's 3E8. And that becomes E803. Alright, and save. Make sure to save. I'm using Control S as a hotkey to save. And now we've changed both of those. Let's go back to Crystal Tile. Open Heartgold version. ARM9 import. This ARM9 and A017. Import 7. And yep, we don't need to save. And now, so we set it to level 6. And that means we need all 8 badges to purchase it. So I'm going to show you a save from 7 gym badges and show that we cannot buy it. So my badges here, I only have 7. I have not beaten Claire yet. And if we go here, no Focus Sash, and also no Repel. So now if we load up a save from Gym 8, we should see, let's double check our badges. Yep, all 8 badges. And there's our Focus Sash. Perfect. So I should note that the order these things are listed, the Pokeball, the Great Ball, all that is the order they'll display here once you've unlocked them. So because we replaced the repel, it's where the repel is. But if you wanted it to be, say, right at the end, you would move the Super Repel and the Max Repel backwards, and then put the Focus Sash where the Max Repel was. And if that sounds complicated, I would just write it out where things were and where you want them to go, and then just do that. So that's my tutorial for replacing the Pokemarts. If you want access to these saves that I'm using, there is a Discord server for Pokemon DS hacking that I recommend joining if you've got questions about anything relating to ROM hacks, or if you just want to hang out and see what other people are up to. That's perfectly fine as well. So thank you for watching. I hope this was useful, and see you later. Hi, so I just realized I never showed you what to do if your pearl value was not in the right spot. Hopefully it is, but just in case it isn't, you're going to have to count to get to the ID you want. Each item takes up 24 digits in hexadecimal. So to get to the next item, you go down 2, to the right 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the start of the next item. You could also just look for these FF. That's the start of the next item. But yeah, you're going to have to count. And if you're counting up and you move from Grisius Orb to Adamant Orb, you skip all of these. It goes straight from Grisius Orb to Adamant Orb. These items are not in the game. These IDs are just unused. But hopefully it doesn't have to come to that, because that would be really, really tedious. Alright, good luck.